Alright guys, now here's a build that I am glad I'm a part of and excited to, I can't wait to see the end result on this thing. It's we believe it's a mid-90s NASCAR Bush series car, which it was bodied as a Thunderbird, as you'll see in the slideshow here. I don't have a whole lot of videos except for the two that I in the beginning of the video here. And I know the one is sideways. I can't get it to rotate, so you just have to deal with it. But I don't have it. Other than those two, I don't have any videos, but I have quite a few pictures of it. So I put those into a slideshow, and you can kind of see the process of it from where we started from to how it is now. Kind of. We picked this 90s Bush Series car up in February of 2019, and my dad has been working on it pretty much in the summertime. There's a couple months, in the cold here where he did work on it, but we stripped the body off. We ended up cutting out the center bars on the right side there, so that we could put a passenger seat in it. Ended up taking out the rear shelf and ended up fitting the first body was a 74 body, or 73 or 4 body that he had since he was younger. That was a parts car. Ended up being a parts car. It's sitting in the woods, and where it sat, it was unsavable. So where it sat, we actually cut the floor out of it right there, and picked the body up off the floor and carried it up to next to the garage there, where we used that for the first mock-up body to see what cuts we had to make and whatnot, and see what we had to do to get it to fit on the NASCAR chassis. And then got all that situated, and we ended up going down and picking up a second body, which ended up, the dude that we got from bought it as a parts car and totally stripped it. The only thing left on it was the windshield, the rear window, and I think a couple trim pieces here and there. I mean, the floor was rotted. It was a 4-speed car, so he took and torched out where the Z-bar bracket was on the left frame rail. The K-frame was totally rotted out. What else? There's parts of the inner fenders that were just torched out. I mean, it was just hacked up. And we have no problem cutting cars up. So we ended up cutting that up. That's the body he's using. He's got one quarter panel for it. He still needs to buy another full quarter panel for, I think, the right side, I believe. I think he's got a left side quarter panel, I think. It still needs, here and there. But after you got that up, I mean, he's got a dashboard fitted into it, a 70s Challenger dashboard, which is out of the car that we cut the floor out of, that was out in the woods. Got it cut to fit nice and snug around the roll bars, and he's actually made his own gauge cluster for it. He's got it all wired up. All the lights are wired up. It's got a horn. It's got a 70s Roadrunner BB horn. It's got all the lights that are wired up for it. Blinkers, headlights, taillights, all that. I think there's just a couple more things that he might have to wire in. I don't remember what though. He found another pair of front fenders and actually cut and narrowed them up, shortened them up, I think 2.5 or 3 inches, so that we can, to get the wheelbase correct. Because I think the car the Challenger body is overall 5 inches too long for the NASCAR chassis. The rear axle still has to be centered. I think he wants to try and find some NASCAR truck series trailing arms for it. And if you can't find them, we're just going to have to take and cut and extend the trailing arms that are in it, which shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see what happens. He still has to shorten up a hood for it and try and he wants to find a hood scoop for it. I'm trying to talk him into a Challenger TA scoop, but he's kind of set on making his own hood scoops out of a 5th Avenue hood, so we'll see what happens. And it's powered right now. It's just a 318 that he had laying around. we just threw it together to get it running and driving. It's got a A833 4-speed transmission that now has a hydraulic clutch, so you can use all the hydraulic master cylinders, pedal assembly, everything from that was in that chassis. And it has a Winner's quick change rear axle, which is in the chassis when we got it. It was a complete roller. We did make our own radiator mount. As you can see, it's leaned way back. But other than that, I mean, the body is pretty much fitted. The body is fitted and is actually welded in. He's got to figure out what to do for inner door skins on both sides. I think the passenger door, he can fit the full entire door in it, the stock door on it. But the driver's side is all cut out. It's all gutted. And then he has to shorten up he's got the front fender shortened up. He just has to finish doing the body work on him and get some supports and braces made going to the roll cage. It had offset coils, or different size coils in the front, so I actually gave him a set of coils. I think they're stock coils out of a 98 Lincoln Town Car, and it actually rides really good with them and sits perfect, so he'll probably end up keeping those springs in there. Rear springs, I'm not sure what he has. I think he might have ordered some different ones that match for a road track, and he ended up fabbing up his own shock mounts and using, I think, 80s Dodge truck front shocks on it or something. I don't know. So he made it work. It has the 4 piston calipers all the way around, Willwood calipers yet. I'm sure, yeah, it does have a handbrake. He did add a handbrake to it, just, if you want to go drifting, the hell, why not? I'm sure there's more I'm forgetting. I'm sure I'll remember later on or whatever, but so right now it's a running, driving car, and it is being converted into a street car, so that's why it's got all the working lights and everything. The only thing I don't think it will have will be side door windows. The doors will still open and close, which will make it a little easier getting out, so you ain't gotta climb as high into the car, or over the door, top of the door. But it will be a fun street car that will be loud, but that's all part of the fun. I think he's planning on building a 408 stroker for it, if I remember right. If not, it's going to be at least a 360, but I think he might be looking at putting a 408 stroker in it. Not 100% sure on that, but we'll see. But watch the slideshow. There ain't a whole lot of detailed pictures in there, but you can see the process of, pretty much see the whole process of where it started to where it is now. So let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll see you in the next video.